Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Yeah, it is hump day, and I can almost taste the weekend. But before we get to the weekend, we need to get to the news. So, shall we? We will have more information on this a little bit later today, so please check back at eyeonannapolis.net. But a small sailboat capsized near the Thomas Point Shoal Lighthouse yesterday afternoon at about 3:30 p.m. with 3 people aboard. 2 were rescued by a passing boat, but 1 is still missing, and there was a search underway last night, both on the water and from the air. It is reported that he may not have had a life vest on. We do hope to have an update a little bit later this morning on this. Our fingers are crossed. Wow, this is terrifying. On Monday night, just before 11 p.m., 2 men were in Brooklyn Park looking for the car of one of the men's girlfriends. They stopped at Patrick Henry Drive and Dell Avenue to ask a group of mostly teens if they had seen it. Well, several members of the group began to attack the driver, stole the keys and the car, and fled. And of course, the group also fled as well. The victim was taken to shock trauma for his injuries and is in stable condition right now. The car was later found in Baltimore yesterday, and the only thing that the police have to go on at this point is that it was a mixed group of about 15 people consisting of black and white, male and female, and the age range is from the late teens to the early 20s. If anybody has any information, 410-222-6135. We have some updates on the evictions in Anne Arundel County. Yesterday, County Executive Pittman laid out what the county and the Arundel Community Development Services has done and will continue to do to help as many people remain in their homes and thwart eviction. They are reaching out to landlords, providing funding to staff and office near the courthouses, working with the sheriff to know who is being evicted so they can be moved up in a priority line for legal representation, and working with judges to get postponements of proceedings. Kathy Koch, who is with the ACDS, says that they have money and the resources to help everybody. They just don't have the time. The 2 takeaways were that if you are facing eviction, to 1, not vacate your home, because once it is vacated, there is no recourse for you. And the other one was that if you are summoned to court for an eviction, go. Always go. They will have attorneys present at the courthouse that will be there to provide you free legal representation. Now, the moratorium on evictions in Maryland is scheduled to end on August 15th. But this all may be a moot point because late yesterday, the CDC issued new moratorium rules that will last until October 3rd. Hopefully, this will give the county and the ACDS the time they say they need to make sure that no one loses their housing. To be continued, I suppose. This one surprised me. Paul Jacobs is retiring. Paul is the GM and the co-owner of the Annapolis Boat Shows and announced his retirement yesterday after 50 years of boat show management and a dozen years as the chief caretaker of the institution. Replacing him is going to be longtime show manager Sheila Jones, and she's been the manager since 2013, so she absolutely knows what she's doing, and she has been the face of the show. Co-owner Mary Ewenson said that she was the obvious choice. Personally, I'm sorry to see Paul go, but looking forward to working more closely with Sheila and wish Paul and his wife nothing but the best as they figuratively, and I suppose quite literally, sail off into the sunset. Well done. And remember, the boat shows. Power is October 7th through 10th, and Sail is October 14th through the 18th, and tickets are on sale now, I believe. With the increase in COVID cases and a horrible season last year as far as playing football, Navy football is not taking any chances this year. They announced the modification of this Saturday's Navy Fan Fest, and unfortunately, the players and coaches will not be in attendance. They will have free T-shirts for the first 300 kids and, of course, all of the fun that goes on down on the field as always. Ticketing reps will be on hand to help you score some digital tickets as well. Admission to this is free, and Navy Athletics is asking anybody that is not vaccinated to wear a face mask. Seems pretty reasonable to me. The home opener for this season is September 4th against Marshall, where former AD for both Marshall and Navy, Jack Lengel, will be honored. And finally, congrats to Miss Bridget Bell, who has the Twitter handle of I'm a Real Beach. She's going to the Jazz on the Narrows. She was the first one to identify that Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Eric Clapton were frequent guests in Muddy Waters' home. And this is great. She is a Chicago transplant that just moved to Annapolis recently. So thank you, Bridget, for finding us, for listening, and welcome to the area. We're glad to have you. If you haven't checked your Twitter DMs, please do. I left you a message about getting those tickets to you. They are old school tickets. They are paper. All right, that's it for the news. But first, a quick thank you to our four sponsors for today's Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster Company, Rehab to Perform, which is just opened at 1750 Forest Drive, and MacMedics. A quick reminder to please leave us a rating or a review if you have a chance, and if you're someplace where you can do that, we'd really appreciate that. So now you just need to hang tight. We have George Young from DCMDVA Weather standing by with your locally forecast weather report. And since you never know when you might need an attorney, we have Scott MacMullan from Scott MacMullan Law here today with some of his periodic legal insight for you. All of that's coming up, but right now, here's Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. With all the talk of energy resilience in the news recently, I'm surprised there's not more talk about solar plus batteries, especially since 1/3 of all of our new residential solar projects include a battery backup system that provides instant energy security and peace of mind. And with incentives in place for battery backup, this investment is now more affordable than ever. With financing rates as low as 0.99% and plans offering 18 months same as cash, it's now easier than ever to go solar with no money down. Financing creates an easy bill swap scenario where you replace your electric bill with a loan payment, allowing you to build equity in your own personal energy supply. Don't wait for your next power outage to act. Contact us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net to learn more about solar with battery backup. Don't wait another minute. Sunshine's a wasted.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, August 4th. Yesterday delivered another great early August weather day for the Annapolis region, and that will continue through tomorrow before temps then start to warm once again. Look for highs today around 80 degrees and expect mostly cloudy skies, though the rain we expected to fall today, earlier in the week, now looks like it might stay far enough away south and east of the area to keep us dry, as a stalled frontal boundary along the east coast likely stays just far enough away to not impact in Arundel County. Then it's sunshine in mid-80s tomorrow before more sun and upper 80s Friday. Ahead of more upper 80s Saturday with a chance of some PM showers and storms before temps then climb up to around 90 degrees on Sunday with low to mid-90s likely then through at least the first half of next week. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and use our website each day by visiting DCMDVAweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Are you an active adult or competitive athlete dealing with an injury keeping you from being at your best? Then Rehab to Perform is here to get you back to your full potential. R2P is a unique fitness-focused physical therapy company with 4 locations in Maryland. More like a training room and a personal training studio than a medical facility. R2P offers physical therapy for lower back pain, overuse injuries, post-surgery, muscle pulls, chronic pain, and more. R2P also offers rehabilitation for concussions and mild traumatic brain injuries. To learn more, visit rehabtoperform.com.
Have you ever had to wait to get an appointment at the Apple Store? Skip the wait and the line at the mall by visiting MacMedics in Severna Park or Lanham, where appointments are not necessary. MacMedics is an Apple-authorized premium service provider. MacMedics services all Apple devices, including broken iPhone screens and batteries, and all without an appointment. Most iPhone repairs are complete the same day and usually within a few hours. MacMedics is also an Apple authorized reseller and sell Apple products at the same price as the Apple Store. Visit MacMedics in Severna Park or Lanham for Apple authorized sales and service and shop local. Don't wait for help. Call MacMedics at 410-757-MAX, which is 410-757-6227. It's 410-757-6227. Or visit them online at MacMedics.com. You never know when you might need an attorney. It could be when the lights light up on the police car behind you. Or maybe you have $1 million idea and need to incorporate. From wills and trusts to car wrecks and arrests, Scott MacMullan with the Annapolis-based Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, is here to offer some insight for you with today's legal brief.
Wear a mask during a traffic stop. Wear a mask. This is Scott MacMullan of Scott MacMullan Law, and this is your legal brief. Wear a mask during a traffic stop. One, it's safer for you because it's healthier to wear a mask. You're going to have a close interaction with a police officer right at your window. Wear a mask and don't exchange and give him or her a coronavirus, and hopefully they won't give it to you. So wear a mask. It's healthier. But also don't give them reason to charge you with a driving under the influence. Don't let them say, hey, I smell alcohol. Or at least it makes it more difficult for them to say they smell alcohol. There's always that time where somebody has one drink, they're driving, they get pulled over, the officer asks, hey, have you been drinking? The person said, yes, I've had one drink. Well, you're going 5 or 10 miles per hour over the speed limit, and before you know it, you're driving under the influence, and that's not expungible in Maryland. Wear a mask. It's safer for you, and it's going to help you get away from a DUI that you actually aren't driving under the influence. So many times, officers will put down smells like alcohol, so therefore you're driving under the influence. And they come to that, the totality of the circumstances. But that's not always the case. Don't make it easier for them, especially if you're really not under the influence. So wear a mask. It's safer. And of course, the number one way to stay safe is to not actually drink and drive. This is sponsored by Scott MacMullan Law, LLC, right at 104 Cathedral Street in Annapolis, Maryland. If you have legal questions, call us 443-494-9775. This is information and is not intended as advice. You should contact an attorney regarding your individual situation. We invite you to contact Scott MacMullan Law, LLC. Please do not send confidential information until such time as the attorney-client relationship has been established. Thank you for listening to the Scott MacMullan Law Legal Brief.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
Did you know that home values jumped over 10% on average in 2020? And we are expected to see more increases over the next 3 to 6 months. What's causing this rise in value? First, limited inventory. We have about 60% fewer homes on the market right now than we did the same time last year. Second, low interest rates. People can afford more home right now, and that is very appealing. Third, increased buyer demand. We literally have over 20 interested and qualified buyers waiting for the right home to come on the market, and we are not alone. If you were ever thinking of timing the market just right to get the highest price in recent history, your time has come. My team is available and ready. Give us a call today. We'll check your home's value and break neighborhood records.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.